As always, we have our weekly guest, our weekly segment with Kyson. I'm here with my dog Tone, and you're watching this on Monday. We're recording this on Sunday during the Cleveland Indiana game. That game is 82-39. I think I could go out and put a better fight up than what the Cavs are doing right now. And the third quarter just started, second half just started. But like I said, as always, every Sunday or every week, we have my dog Kyson on, man. Kyson, how you feeling, bro?
It was good, man. Happy Mother's Day to y'all mothers, to
Yep.
y'all, girlfriends, wives out there. I'm at the family function right now, so I had to hop on the pod real quick, give my little 2 cents. So I'm feeling good though, feeling good.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, hey, first Father's Day coming up for you soon. I know you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, that sounds like more money to spend, man.
Why you gotta
Hey,
spend money? You're the one that's not supposed to be spending money on
on
Father's Day,
Father's
bro.
Day.
Hopefully,
Everyone's
hey,
supposed to be
hopefully it go
treating
like that.
you.
Oh man. Hey,
I seen my pops barbecue on Father's Day. I said, man, I just seen it all.
Definitely gotta still gotta put in the work.
yeah, you got to
Still
go
gotta
buy
put
the
in the
food
work.
and do all the cooking. And yeah, I guess it grind don't never stop, bro. um, let's get into some of these games, man. Yesterday, the Celtics and Knicks played Game 3, and the Celtics went in and handled business. This first game in the second round in MSG. Celtics go in and beat the Knicks 115-93. Tatum was better. Jalen Brown was okay. But that's the thing with the Celtics team. Like Peyton Pritchard was fantastic. That's the thing with the Celtics team. It's like they don't have to play great in order to beat really any team in the league. They just have to play Celtic basketball, which is play defense, make some threes, and again play defense. They were 20 of 40 from three yesterday. 20 of 40. That's 50%. And they only missed 2 free throws out of 17. That's Celtic basketball, and they obviously held the Knicks to under 100 points. Kyson, would you think of this game yesterday, man? What do you like the chances of the Celtics coming back?
Yeah, I like their chances a lot, actually. Like I do like their chances. I think they can probably win the next four and close this out in six. Just because I seen something on Twitter. It's like if they play decent basketball, they win. If they play great basketball, they win. If they play bad basketball, they
Yep.
win. If they play historically bad basketball, they lose, which they did in games one and two. They just, stunk the bed up. But me and Jamal, me and you had a conversation over the phone over the past week, and I told you I think it was just a case of the Celtics just taking the gas, taking their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Just kind of um, just like they've been here, they've been doing this for quite a long time, and sometimes they just think, you know, oh, we just gonna get back to the finals, we'll be fine. I think that they were just developing that attitude, especially going up 20 points in both of the first halves and both games. So I just think they just kind of got too comfortable, and New York is a team you can't get comfortable with. But in Game Three, I think from start to finish, they just had a sense of urgency and a sense of, hey, we got to win this game, point blank and simple. And one thing we got to give credit, somebody we got to give credit to is Peyton Pritchard, six man of the year. Came in,
Yeah. He was really good.
gave him a spark, made shots, did everything he was asked of from start to finish. He looked like the starter in this game from when I was watching him. So I give credit to him. Celtics look good, and if they could just play decently, I think they can finish these next three games out convincingly. Um, but yeah, I just think they just took their foot off the gas. But now I think now in their heads just like, all right, it's time to go.
What you got, Tom?
You see with jerseys back up, man. You see it. I had Rondo up overpaid. Nah, but it
Sorry,
was
I'll be there to take it down. No worries. No problem.
He
it
was
was
definitely
definitely
better for sure.
Yeah.
it was a complete game by the Celtics. Yeah, everyone played just a tad bit better than we have been playing. I think we can still play better. Um, Fingers crossed that we do win out, that we win the next 3. I will say that the Knicks didn't seem like they did the first 2 games. I heard there's a rumor that Cat is hurt. You're talking about have something broken or something. Like he did an interview and he kept saying, like, I'll let the locker room take care of that conversation. I'll let the people in the locker room handle that conversation. And I'm like, just that rumor. It's the same thing with Steph Curry. When people hear that you're hindered, yeah, they're gonna attack. Definitely big shout out, like Kyson said, big shout out to Peyton Pritchard. He's been kind of inconsistent since the playoffs started, and he had a much better game last night. I'm looking forward to just really watching the progression of Porzingis. He played more minutes than he did the last couple games, and so I'm just anxious to see how he remains or can remain healthy. And then, yeah, I think this is just another step in the right direction. The Celtics are getting momentum, and hopefully we can win out and continue in the next series.
Yeah, I think game 4 is a must win. And if I haven't said it already earlier in the show, game 4 is a must win for the Knicks. But Kyson, what do the Knicks need to do in order to stay in the series? I mean, obviously you saw them win game 1 and 2. They were down by 20 in both games. What do the Knicks need to do to stay in the series?
See, the interesting thing about the Knicks is that they haven't played a good game this series yet. Even in the wins that they won, they still didn't play good.
It's a good
So I
point.
mean, I guess the only thing for them to do is to play their brand of basketball. And try to score 100 points before the Celtics. I mean, try to find some identity besides Jalen Brunson on the O. And I think to what Tone just said, Cat being hurt has a lot to do with why the offense hasn't been where it's been. And also you gotta give credit to the Celtics. They're a great team, great defensive team. It's not gonna be easy.
Yeah.
So I don't expect them to let up, but the Knicks, you just gotta make your shots. Make your shots, play your game. And I I would say you need 23, 24 from Mikhail. You need 22 from OG. With Cat being hurt, if you can get you 20, great. And then you need Brunson to be Brunson. I think you just need your guys to step up and make the shots they need to make. And also do what you did in those second halves in game 1 and 2 and force the Celtics to shoot those threes, jack them up, because I think when uh not only did you force them to shoot the threes, you contested them. So you're not just giving them open threes, you contest them as well. Um they kind of let the Celtics win this game because Tatum was getting a lot of open threes. I'm talking about 28, 29 footers.
Yeah.
And in those games 1 and 2, remember they were closing out on those shots. Now they stopped in this next game. They got to get back to closing out, even on those deeper threes that Tatum likes and that the Hausers and Pritchard's like as well. So, so for me, the Knicks need to score and play D. Simple as that.
What you got, Tom?
Kyson said in a statement that they have to play good. I think they have to play great. Because personally, although as a team they haven't played good, OG's had a great game.
Yeah.
Josh Hartis had a great game. Cat had a mean double-double against us. It was like 18 and 17 rebounds. And so I feel like in some instances they have played good. I will say that I think Jalen Brunson hasn't played good. Like he's definitely the key piece for them, but he hasn't played up to Jalen Brunson's standards. And so I think if he gets going, then he enables others to get going. I just don't know if they have the right system. We have defenders like Drew Holiday and Derek White that are likely going to slow him down. But I really feel like they have to focus on getting Jalen Brunson going earlier in the game, which will allow everyone else to get rolling. And of course, he's their closer. He's Mr. Clutch. But I really feel like that has to be the focus of getting Jalen Brunson going if the Knicks want to win.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson has to remember. I listen. I love the way Jalen Brunson has played. I love the moments that he's had, but he also has to remember that there's 3 other quarters other than the fourth quarter to play in the basketball game. So it'll be interesting to see how they play in Game 4. Like I said, I think it's a must win for the Knicks in order for them to even have a chance to win this series. Let's talk about the late game last night. Minnesota goes into Golden State for their Game 3. Minnesota sneaks away with the win. I think this game was a lot closer than it probably should have been. Again, the Warriors not having Steph Curry. Reports are that the very earliest that he can come back is Game 6. But the Timberwolves do go and handle business in Golden State. 102-97. Anthony Edwards was fantastic. He had 36 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, a block. He was very good. Jimmy Butler was very good. He had 33 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, shot okay from the field. Jonathan Kuminga was really, really good in this game. He had 30. He had 2 blocks. He had 6 rebounds and 3 assists. He was a +5 and plus minus off the bench. So he was really good. Kyson, what were you take away from this game yesterday and the fight that the Warriors showed without their best player in Steph Curry?
Man, the NBA a dirty business. That's what I noticed. Uh, Jonathan Kuminga, like this dude was getting DNPs, man.
Yeah.
Like this dude was out of the rotation because he don't want to sign. Well, allegedly didn't want to sign what they was offering him and wanted to bet on himself. And it's just tough to see because 30 points. I mean, just imagine that alongside Steph, alongside what Jimmy and them usually do. I'm pretty sure I'm not saying Kuminga could average 30, but he can give you something, man. He's a good player, but he just doesn't fit with Steph because you got to be a certain player to play with Steph. We've seen this before with D'Lo and other guards and other players that are ball dominant. But kudos to him for having a good game. Jimmy as well. I think Pods was the one that they were missing. I think
Yeah.
he plays a tad better. They win that game, which is crazy. Um, I just think that the Timberwolves, they have weaknesses. There are areas you can attack them at, but you have to do it early. You have to do it early. You have to do your work early. Um, I get that. You want to get Rudy Gobert out the game in the fourth quarter. You want to get him out the game in the second quarter, actually. Like
Yeah.
you want to make him unplayable. You want him to have 9 minutes for the game. So I think if the Warriors can play post more, play those stretch fives more, and get Gobert completely out, like make him unplayable, then I think they might have a chance in the series. Even though I don't want them to have a chance, I gotta call a spade a spade. But Ant, he's impressive. I mean, we expected this. We expected Ant to show up in these high pressure moments, come and handle his business. It's always about who's next to him, who's gonna handle the business. You know. Um, so I expect this from Ant. Um, I expect the Warriors. I think the Warriors might win game 4. I think they might win game 4. Um, but I think that if they follow my advice, get Gobert off the court sooner, work that small ball magic that they've somehow, some way have made it this far doing with all the championships and the dynasty, like they're the kings of small ball. If they can master that without Steph and push it to game 6, they can make this interesting.
What do you think, Tom?
I think personally, this says a lot more about the Timberwolves than it does about the Warriors. It's honestly kind of rough. I didn't have certain expectations for the Timberwolves after watching the regular season. And then after the first series, I feel like they built up our expectations. And now they're not really living up to them. And I feel like whoever they'll see in the next round is kind of watching this and they're like, oh, yeah, we good. And sometimes you have to prove to your next opponent, like, it's like say you're in a lunchroom and there's big bully been bothering you all school year, and then somebody else bumps you and they square up. You gotta knock homie out so that big bully goes, oh yeah, maybe I
Oh,
don't
he
want to
for real.
fight. So
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone's like, oh yeah, we ready for them. Like, I mean, there's only two other teams, but I feel like that no one's gonna be afraid of Anthony Edwards in the Minnesota Timberwolves. I do think Julius Randle is actually stepped up and is playing his role great, phenomenally right now. But although Anthony Edwards has played good enough for them to win series, same way I think people are looking at Jason Tatum. If he doesn't play better, they won't win the championship.
Yeah, Minnesota. They just got to be better. Offensively, most importantly. You only score 102 points now. Golden State, they're playing pretty well defensively, but Anthony Edwards can't be the only one putting the ball in the basket. Julius Randle was really good yesterday. He had 3 steals and he had a triple double, 24, 12, and 10. He shot okay from the field, but yeah, it's got to be somebody other than Julius Randle and AE. Jaden McDaniels had 15. Nobody else had more than double digits, more than 9 points. Somebody's got to come along with them in order for them to really run away and dominate this series the way that they should without are playing the Golden State team without Stephen Curry. They're gonna have to play their best basketball and again hurry up, end this series, and move on to the conference finals and play either the Nuggets or the Thunder. Speaking of which, game 4 of Thunder Nuggets was today, and this was an interesting game. Thunder do sneak again, very, very sneakily win this game 92-87. I mean, so we want to talk about playoff basketball. Both teams are below 95 points. That's good, physical basketball. SGA had his moments. He wasn't amazing in this game. He had 25 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Went 0 for 5 from 3, did not make a 3, although I don't think there was a rim or there was a lid on the rim when these teams were shooting threes. So he was okay. You had other guys step up. Kyson Wallace was good. Aaron Wiggins was okay. Alex Caruso was really good offensively and defensively. Jalen Williams was awful. God, J-Dub was terrible in this game. Shot 2 for 13, had 10 points. He was very good defensively, but offensively couldn't throw it in the ocean from a boat. Jokic did his thing. He wasn't very good either. He had 27, shot 27 to 22 from the field, 13 rebounds, only 3 assists. I think that's key, and I think that's something we're going to talk about here in a second. Only 3 assists in this game against the Thunder. Jamal Murray was okay. Could have been a lot better. Russell Westbrook was awful. I mean, the offense was very, very hard to come by in this game. And Kyson, you see Jokic only had 3 assists. You mentioned it. The way to beat Jokic, let him have whatever he wants offensively as long as he does not dish out the ball. Is that what happened today?
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of that, and what you said, just bad offense, just shots not going in. But I think the Thunder did have that mindset of, hey man, let Jokic go get 30. We can't let Aaron Gordon game us. We can't let Michael Porter Jr. Finally get it rolling. We can't let these guys think they have confidence that they can hang with us. It's got to be Jokic and Jokic only. My thing is for the Thunder is Jalen Williams has been bad these playoffs, man. Like, he just hasn't been the player he was in regular season. We're talking about an all-star, or we're talking about a guy who was being in considerations for best third, fourth option, whatever. But it was a conversation where he's just not playing like that, and that's what they're missing right now. I think the Thunder can seriously blow out the Nuggets in a game like this if just Jada, like kind of like what AE and Julius did against Golden State. If it's Shy having 25 and Jada has at 21, 22 next time, this is a blowout.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't been able to get it going. Chet, he's just getting his money's worth with Jokic, you know, and Hartenstein's getting a little bit of him too. But man, this is the MVP. This is the best player in the entire world, and he's giving him everything he got. But also, it shows the incompleteness of the Denver Nuggets roster. They only got 6 guys, literally 6 guys, and if 4 of them are off, they probably lost. You know, so that's why I'm putting this more so on the Thunder. Like, the Thunder have to play better. This is not the first seed I thought that was coming in. This is playoff basketball. I agree that these are two juggernauts duking it out, but at the same time, I just expected more from the Oklahoma City Thunder so far.
Yeah, the Thunder's second and third guys haven't been very good. J Dub, Jalen Williams had a good game. I think what was it, game 1 or 2 when he went off for like 33 or something like that. Other than that, he's been a no show. Chet has also been. But to your point, Kyson, he's had his hands full. Pause with Jokic. I mean, that's Jokic is the best player in the league. And Jokic is the best player in the league, and Chet's got to sit there and guard him. He only had 8 points today, but Jokic also really, really struggled today. In general. So, Tone, what you think, man? What you think about today's game?
It was a great game. I'd say this is premier playoff basketball. This is what we've all been asking for. I do slightly agree with Kyson's statement as far as expectations for these teams. I mean, it's the same, similar with the Cavs. Is the teams who were first in the conference, we kind of had expectations for them to kind of beat up on whoever they met in the playoffs. And I think it's been a battle of matchups that was kind of unexpected. And these are just great matchups. You look at Aaron Gordon, you look at, even though he's hurt, MPJ, it's a different matchup for J Dub. He can't just get extra physical because Michael Porter just wants to sit on the perimeter and wait for the pass to shoot. And so J-Dub got to be like this bounce back. You got to watch Jokic and make sure that MPJ's not backdoor. I think the matchups are kind of fishy. But this is tough, man. This is, to me, if Jokic can pull this out, this is a statement series for him. As well as if SGA figure out a way to play better and gain momentum moving into the next round, then this is a boost of confidence for himself, his team, and I feel like it's just a hurdle that they've been able to get over, because they don't seem like they have experience right now. If I can just simmer it down, they just seem like they lack experience in certain times in the game where they're just playing, where they're not hammering down and taking control of the series.
Yeah, experience I think is a big thing in this series. I do have to admit I was impressed with OKC towards down the stretch of this game when they needed to make plays. They did make the plays for the most part. Of course, you had a few miscues here and there, but they made the play. They made the plays they needed to make to win the game, and that's what they did. And so now you gain home court advantage back, and you're going back to get to OKC for Game 5. The Thunder, I think, have the momentum right now going back to OKC after this, hard fought slugfest that they just went through. It'll be very, very, is game 1 OKC going to show up where they go up by 20 and then take their foot off the gas and give up that lead and allow the Nuggets to hit a game winner? Or is it going to be game 2 OKC in which they come in and they just run over the Nuggets? I mean, run over them. They just kill them. They destroy them. So it'll be interesting to see what OKC team shows up, because I think that's that determines the way that it's going to go. Now, real quick, there's not much to talk about this game. Right now, the Cavs and Pacers, there is 3 minutes and 17 seconds left in the third quarter. The score is 100-66 in favor of the Indiana Pacers. It seems like the Pacers can't miss a shot. They are absolutely they're doing everything they wanted to. They're doing everything they want to right now. Obi Toppin is playing well. Miles Turner is playing well. Tyrese Halliburton isn't even playing all that well, and they're winning by 34. Pascal Siakam is doing his thing. He has 21 points, 9 to 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. He has 6 rebounds and 3 assists to go along with that. He's playing. He's being their best player, as he usually is. The Cavs are going to go down 3-1. The Cavs are going to go down 3-1, and obviously the series is not over. We've seen teams come back from 3-1 in the second round. As knowing how good the Cavs have been all year. But Kyson, let's just assume, right? I like to say all the time on the show, what assuming makes you. But for this example, how big of a disappointment would it be if the Cavs were to lose in the second round to the 4-seed Indiana Pacers?
Yeah, it'd be disappointing. It'd be disappointing just because you already did this last year, for one, and
Yep.
for two, just how you going out. I mean, you're down 40. You're down 40. You don't look like you have hope. When this game was on, the first possession of the game was a Darius Garland turnover.
Yep.
And then it led to Tyrese Halliburton dunk. As soon as I seen that, I'm like, yeah, this game's over. Like that's all I need to see because that's all the Pacers need, man. They just need that little bit of momentum, and then we up and
Take
running,
off.
and they've been taking off since. I just thanks, appreciate it. But I think that for the Cavs, I just think that this series is over. This series is over because we talked about it. Darius Garland is hurt. He forced himself early. Now, granted, Donovan Mitchell gave him that grace last game, dropped 40. Say, hey, man,
Yep.
don't worry about it. I'll do it this game. But in this game, Donovan Mitchell hasn't been on. No one hasn't been on. I just been seeing brick after brick after brick, and the Pacers have taken fully advantage of that. I just don't see how the Cavaliers can come back even at home at Game 5 and confidently beat this Pacers team with all the momentum they have and to what we've been saying a lot, experience. The
Yep.
Pacers went to the conference finals and they duked it out with the Celtics. You know, they competed with those guys. Granted, they got swept. Those were competitive games for the
Yep.
most part. So I think the Pacers, I think they're looking ahead right now. I think they're ready for either the Celtics or the Knicks right now because the Cavs have no momentum. They're not healthy and they look burnt out, if you ask me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, they're the one seed. They won 64 games this year, and they were one of the best teams at home. So they're going back to Game 5, going back to Cleveland for Game 5. It'll be interesting to see what they do and how they coming out of the jump of Game 5. So, Tone, what you think, man? What's how big of a disappointment would it be if the Cavs were to lose in the second round once again, especially after the regular season that they had?
For it would be a big disappointment. I don't think a lot of people would pay a lot of attention to it. I think people would more or less focus on specifically Donovan Mitchell
Mm-hmm.
and how he hasn't been able to get over the hump via Utah and now in Cleveland, having this much success during the regular season, so little success in the playoffs. I think that's going to be the highlighted conversation. But again, I do agree that it is a disappointment. Them winning 64 games in the regular season. It's it's just I think what people are going to do is wonder what it was. How were they capable of having that much success in the regular season and then not having very little with this team? And yeah, specifically Donovan Mitchell. But I do think to sum it up, as the NBA is going to have to look into it sooner or later. There's been way too many injuries, and as someone who has to hear it every time I talk about my guys winning the championship, watching it this season, and like I know that people are playing, but we're not seeing, I guess, the highest valued basketball because the best players are somewhat, they're hindered. Like, you if we had 100, even 90% of each player, then I think it would be, just a little bit better of a playoff. So I think if they take it down to 65 games and we get the same amount of playoff games, then we get to see 100%, but it's tough because you got Darius Garland hindered, you got Evan Mobley kind of, it's too much for me to say, like, but I understand from an outside perspective of if you don't win, you don't win.
See, I think to your point with the games and the injuries, I think what it really is the fact that we're it's too many politics in the NBA on these rotations. Like, if you really think about it, not too many teams are going in the double digit rotations. They got their 9-man rotations, even in the regular season. They still having 9-man rotations, 8-man rotations.
Yeah.
So you have a roster of 15 people, 6 of them might not ever touch the court. And it's just like it's due to the fact that all right, we got $50 million player, $45 million player, $30 million player, $12 million player, $9 million player, $3 million. You see the drop off
Yeah.
from 30 to 12, 11.
That's a really
I
good point.
think I think that because I have so many high value guys, I have to play them 30-something minutes a game so they can get their incentives, so they can get their checks, this, that, and the third, so I don't piss them off because they're making way more than me as a coach. I think if it was more balanced money wise, you'll be able to play 12-man rotations consistently. So these young guys, these bench players can actually get run. And LeBron at 40 years old is not playing the whole second half of playoff basketball. He's not averaging 37 minutes a game at 40. Because you got Dalton Connect, you finally go give a chance. He can average 23 minutes and give you something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And one more thing I wanted to say was that I think when you ask the Cavs about how did y'all win these many games, you can ask the same thing about these boys up here, Houston Rockets. How the hell y'all win up? How the hell y'all win that many games? And I'll answer it. From November to January is sleep basketball. If you want it for real, like if you really want to play basketball in the NBA, you try hard. I think every team, like the Cavs, the Thunder, the Rockets, every team that was 1 and 2 and 3, they took basketball very seriously from November to January. I don't think the entire league did. I think the entire league as a whole got serious around February, March. So now,
I can tell you who didn't take the season serious the whole year. I know a team who didn't.
well, look,
I won't say any names, but
that's because the Cavs were beating up. Think about it. The Cavs beating up the Kings in early in the beginning of the year. Now the Cavs are actually trying to get a play-in spot. Now they playing meaningful basketball. Now you're not beating them easily. Now you're not beating these 8 seeds, 7 seeds as easily as you were in the beginning of the season because generally, the middle of the pack teams really don't care in the beginning of the season. So to your point, maybe shortening the games to 65 will make all 65 games meaningful.
mhm.
But I think it's one of those mysteries in the NBA where it's just like it'll be a
To, to,
revolving door.
to your point, though, your Rockets won a lot of games in the second half of the season when you're saying that teams take the basketball much more seriously. So I agree that the teams that have championship, um, they're likely to win. They're playing basketball from day one, like because they have the vision, they see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
But I feel like there are certain organizations, there are certain coaches that can motivate. And you look at OKC, they play 10 players. That you look at your team, you guys are playing 10 deep, and sometimes I'm like right now, I believe fully matchups, which is most of the time the conversation for playoffs. But I mean, you look at the Golden State series and I think everyone was like, oh yeah, this series is over. But the matchups, when you look at it and just they're struggling to score, like, well, shoot, defensively, both teams are kind of the same because you take Steph Curry out of that line, they almost improve defensively.
Right.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the rest of the playoffs and see how the Cavs bounce back from this. It's going to be they better go into Game 5 the most desperate team that's ever touched a basketball floor.
It'll be a rough summer for them if they don't win.
Yeah, for sure. Lastly, again, real quick for a few minutes, got to talk about your boys. You brought them up. I'm glad you brought them up. I'll save it. Tone, I know you want to ask him something. I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the end result of the conversation just finished is what do you see your boys doing this summer? I know there's like a couple of big names that are out there, and I know we've kind of previewed this conversation before, but we're getting a little bit later in the playoffs, and once it gets later in the playoffs, certain teams more things are available. You're like, oh yeah, they're out of there. Oh, well, Giannis might be available now. Oh, they're out of there. Oh, it just happens that way. And so have a couple conversations about certain people wanting to go to Houston. And I don't know if you heard any of them and excited. Is there a person that you would like to have in Houston? Actually, matter of fact, I sent you one, so I know you've seen one of them.
Yeah, no, I think that I'll give you my two hands. I'll give you my fantasy and then I'll give you what I think is gonna happen. So fantasy, I mean, give me Giannis, you know what I'm saying? Give me Book, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me it all.
I'm getting tired of you
How
bringing
you
up
get
both.
both of them?
I'm getting
You know what I'm
tired.
saying?
Yeah,
Give everybody.
this book
See,
stuff
like
is making me sad.
I
He
think
wants the
something that
all-star team in Houston.
but no, what I seriously think is gonna happen is I think we run it back. I think we're gonna keep most of everybody. I think we might add KD if the price is right. If it ain't right, then I don't think they're gonna overstep their boundaries to get him. I honestly see us keeping Jalen Green. And I told y'all on the last show what we think of Jalen Green versus what the ownership and managers believe in Jalen Green are two completely different things. I don't know what it is. I wish I could see it, but for the time being, I definitely see just about everybody coming back because Fred, we supposed to re-sign him. They pushed the extension back to figure out the correct details. I love to have Fred back. I love to have most of everybody back, but we 100% we need a primary scorer. And but we are in one thing that the Rockets are in is a good position because we got
Yeah,
somebody Cam Whitmore. He has all the makings of the half court scorer we've been needing. He just doesn't get the opportunity due to the fact that he's young for one, for two, his attitude, and for three, he's kind of a ball stopper. He gets that thing and he trying to do what he do
it's
with it.
going up.
But
Yeah.
that might just what we need. You know, we have so many young guys. Instead of going out and get just old geezers, go get these, guys that have shown you what they are already. Why not believe in your own young talent and continue to develop it because we know Amon Thompson's coming. We know Goon has one more step to reach. We all see it as NBA fans. We all see it. It's just about what's the goal, so if I'm being realistic, I think that's what's really going to happen. I think we keep the same squad. We we'll go into free agency, try to pick up somebody that's reliable in the half court, try to retain pieces like Adams. His market might be a little too high for us, honestly, because he's in high demand,
Yeah.
but hopefully we do what we can to keep him. Hopefully we retool and replenish and run his back next year. I personally don't see getting rid of all these young guys you've been developing, creating a culture for a guy that's already showing you, hey, this is what I need for it to work. And if we don't have that and you still get them, where the Suns are at. Yeah, we got the
Dang,
player, but we don't
that's a
have
low
what
blow,
he
brother.
needs.
It's a low
See,
blow.
there you go. See,
We got Kevin Durant, but we don't have
I
it.
wasn't even gonna say that. But
We don't,
I wasn't gonna say nothing. But Tone, you had to bring it up. See, there you go. You ain't no good.
I didn't say the Suns. He
No,
Kyson said the
you didn't have to emphasize it. You dang, yeah, it's just real loud over there. No, no, but
I was gonna say we've seen this movie before.
yeah, I think the Rockets are in a situation in which you call good problems to have. Now, again, they are problems, but they're not like franchise turning problems. But they have a good young core. They have a lot of value if they were to go out and look for a trade and in a Giannis or a KD or I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna say Devin Booker because he's staying
draft
right here in Phoenix.
draft lottery tomorrow. I think that sways a lot on what we
Oh,
do.
if the Rockets get the Suns pick, I will stop this podcast will
Wait,
be
hold
done.
on. So what's the protection on it? Is it top
Oh,
10?
it's unprotected.
Oh, so it's our picks. What do you mean?
It's your pick no matter
Dang,
what.
they should have learned better.
If
They
we
should
get
have.
that first pick, because
I will never. Like this.
there's a
This
chance they
podcast is
can
done.
jump.
You won't like people won't even see this if the Rockets get the first overall pick. Like they like people won't even see what we're talking about right now. So I just wanted to
I'll
put that
send
out
it to you. I'll send it to you, Kyson. Don't worry, I got the login.
But no, on a serious note, Kyson, as always, every Sunday, Kyson comes on the pod with us, talk some hoops. Eventually we'll get into some football and the closer we come to training camp and things like that. Kyson, appreciate you, brother.
Hey man,
Definitely
appreciate y'all.
appreciate you,
I'll
my guy.
see y'all next week. Hey, good luck to the C's. I think after the Cavs, unfortunately, go. He's gonna be the only one
Oh,
standing.
I wish bad luck to the C's.